This is the first review assignment video for Math 198. You won't be tested on this material, but you may be asked some homework questions, and this is material you will need to know to learn the material of the course. So we're going to look at problems 1 and 2 in this video. And remember, foiling means first, outer, inner, last. Let's look at part A. If we want to FOIL this expression, then we're going to do, first, we're going to do x times x, which will give us x squared. And then we're going to do the outer part, which is going to be minus 6x. So we're going to do minus 6x. And then we're going to do the inner part. Actually, I guess we'll keep this right. The inner part would be the plus 4x. And then the last would be the last. Well, right. So the last would be the minus 6 plus 4, right? It's going to be minus 24. And we just simplify that to be x squared minus 2x, because we combine the like terms, minus 24. Okay? So let's do parts B and C, right? I'll leave D, E, and F for you. Okay? Part B, we're going to FOIL x minus 5 times x minus 3. Well, again, first, outer, inner, last is going to be x squared minus 3x minus 5x plus 15 for an answer of x squared minus, that's going to be an 8x plus 15. Okay, let's do one more, and I'll leave the parts D, E, and F for you. X plus 6 times x minus 6. Something slightly nice and interesting will happen here. We're going to get x squared. We're going to get minus 6x plus 6x minus 36. And so look what happened to that middle term. It went away. Okay? And you can decide whether that's a coincidence or not. But I'm going to leave problems D, E, and F to you. See if you can get those. Now we're going to move on to number 2. Here we're going to do the opposite. They're given to us in FOILed form, reduced FOILed form, and we need to factor them. We need to write it as, x minus blah times x plus blah, etc. Okay? So this is maybe a little bit more of an art sometimes, especially for parts C and D, or, but there is technique to it, and we definitely need to be able to do it. So if we look at 2A, what we do is we need to look at the middle term and the last term, and we need to find two terms that add to the middle term but multiply to be the last term. Okay? Let me actually use different colored highlighters for that. So we want two terms that add to the middle but multiply to the last, okay? So if you think for a sec, you realize, okay, I guess negative 4 and negative 1 add up to be negative 5, but they multiply to be positive 4. And so if we notice that this first term is just x squared, we notice that we're going to have an x here, okay? So that's how we're getting the minus 4 and the minus 1, and then we stick an x in front of it, and we're good to go. We have factored that expression, right? If we multiply this out, we get that. Okay? So again, for part B, right, we find two terms, right? We know it's going to be, not x squared. We know it's going to be x something and x something else, right? Because again, we have this x squared term. Now, looking at this, we notice that this term right here that this term is a negative and that term is a positive. Now, the fact that the green term is a negative means that one of these is going to be a plus and the other is going to be a minus, right? Because two numbers multiply to be a negative means that one of them is positive, one of them is negative. So again, if we think, what two numbers multiply to negative 8 add to 7 plus 8 minus 1. And there we go. Okay? There we go. By the way, I guess I should be a little more careful and formal with my notation. I apologize for this. I should be writing x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals this. X squared plus 7x minus 8 equals that. Okay? And let's do one more. Let's do part C. And this is a bit trickier because of that pesky 4. Right? And this is where I say it can be a little bit more of an art than a science. But even then, there are techniques. But frankly, I find it's easiest just to guess and check. So what's a little tougher about this is we don't know whether our first term is going to be something like this or whether it's going to be something like that. And you really just need to kind of check them both. Right? There are ways to do it, but just guess and check, right? And so we need to maybe think again about this 12 and that 9, right? Two numbers that multiply to be 9 and add up to 12 sort of, but you know, there's a little bit of funny stuff going on with those coefficients. So let's just worry about the 9. And if we do that, we notice that we could try the very natural plus 3 plus 3. And if you do that, you might actually see, well, wait a minute, we're going to get 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 2 again is 6, and that gives us 12. So I think we actually may have guessed correctly here. And we actually got our answer. So again, if I maybe write this properly, I was supposed to, and write 4x squared plus 12x plus 9 equals, then I think we're looking pretty good. And I'll leave parts D and E to you.